Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Capricorn, Sun and Moon and Rising. This is for the week of December 12th through to the 19th. We do have the moon moving through Virgo the weekend of these readings, in addition to Mercury in retrograde during Sagittarius' transit through the Sun. So with Virgo, we do have the opportunity to look at practical ways on how to help ourselves out of something without being emotionally involved in it. So it could be a very practical outcome that you need to look at. The moon does rule the emotions. Virgo rules work and practicality. Also a little bit of healthy detachment. But it's also an earth sign. So we're going to reap what we sow this week. But we do have the opportunity to listen to Sagittarius and Sun, which is really the blunt skeptic and the philosopher. So if you can listen to your higher self this week and really detach from something that's been dogging you emotionally, you have a real chance to undo or revisit something here to work out in your favor. So anything that we can revisit, revise, re-edit, reinvent, release, anywhere we can stick the prefix RE in front of is a really good opportunity during the Mercury in retrograde. So with that in mind, we're going to look at your general reading with the term of what needs revising. So this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So what does Capricorn need to revise this week? So the light is changing in here quite rapidly. The sun sets so early now. It's only about 4:30 or so. And there goes that sun. So apologies if this is difficult to see. We're just looking for 2 more jumpers here. Those came out together. I'll use those together. We're just looking for 1 more jumper. If we don't get one in the next few seconds, I'm just going to pull from the center of the deck. So Capricorn, I feel like you've been going in a really nice direction for yourself for quite some time, maybe for quite some time, perhaps even realizing some qualities, some very special healing qualities that you've had for quite some time, that you're now either embarking on in a practical way or you're willing to look at in a serious way, which is wonderful. With regard to your central position card, we have breathe. In terms of revising yourself this week, you just want to sort of return to this. I really feel like this is just a gentle reminder for you to return to a sense of completeness, to a sense of having everything you need, to a sense of leading with the heart and not being afraid of that, not being, frightened by that. So you really want to take a step back from something here, especially if it's felt overwhelming. I've been mentioning for all the zodiac this week that the holidays can be very triggering for many, many individuals, zodiac notwithstanding. All of us are affected by this in not so nice ways sometimes. So if there is something that feels overwhelming or incomplete while Mercury is in retrograde, of course that's over the next 3 weeks, just slipping into Christmas time, you're really going to do yourself a favor by just reinstating how to breathe and how to relax. this week, because you could be overwhelmed by at least one item in your life. It could have to do directly with Christmas time or the holidays or travel. But it could just have something to do with, old habits or old opinions of yourself. So if you feel overwhelmed at any stage this week, really let yourself slow down. You really want to breathe and center yourself, okay? Because here's where we're looking at, overactivity perhaps. We have Yang. This is an action card. It's represented by the sun. You could have the feeling that you need to be blunt with yourself and everyone else, and that this is going to be helpful. But this is where you're going to want to sit on it for a little bit, because even if it's helpful to you, it may not be to somebody else. So it's really wise this week for you. You can be blunt with yourself, but really take into account who you're talking to, who you're spending time with, and really recognize by sitting still to begin with, without just blurting things out, that even if you feel they deserve it or they need to hear it, or this works for me, this is a position that you're going to be in this week where you're going to want to keep that bluntness, that severity to yourself, and you're going to want to treat other people a little bit more gently this week. Because it's what's working for you this week to get through something isn't going to be well accepted by someone else this week. This is highly male energy. This is sun energy. This is first action energy. This is also, like I mentioned at the very start, the sun is currently in Sagittarius. So being blunt may not be well received by someone else right now. And being philosophical, particularly about an emotional or triggered behavior here, will not be helpful. So if you must use it on yourself, you do that. That's your world. But recognize that other people will not appreciate that this week. So try to be mindful of other people's attitudes and behaviors and just let them be while you sort yourself out and sort your own emotions out. Even if you need physical distance right now, take it. Okay? You do have the flexible, that's qualifying Yang. This is you being able to do this, right? This is you saying, I know when to apply severity and I know when not to apply severity. I know when gentle action is needed, or I know when to bow out of a situation when my help is not needed. So really you're going to want to listen to a higher sense of awareness this week, and truly being just sort of centering yourself and maybe taking 10 seconds before you say anything out loud this week, especially to somebody else, okay? I was going to say, even if they're asking for your advice. If they're asking for your advice, then get it off your chest. But remember here that you can always put a caveat. You can always say, look, to be blunt, this is what I would do. And that way you've covered both how they might feel about it and that they might not be receptive to this, but also you're able to be honest with yourself. Look, if I was in your shoes, I would do this, but hey, you're you, and I trust that you can figure this out. Like, you're flexible around directive energy, but take a few seconds to talk before you say something here around advisement or around relations of any kind, and come to the edge as your probable outcome. This is where we're looking at really taking a risk based on love here, right? Love for the self, love for others, a love for freedom, a love for the truth, a love for honesty, and this is a risk based on love. You could feel as though this is going to cause a sense of self-sacrifice here. I would really give whatever you feel that you're self-sacrificing here a great deal of thought. Sit with it in great detail. As I mentioned, the moon is in Virgo, so you're going to want to get close to this. Virgo is helping you look at it objectively. The moon will be moving all week through first Libra, and then it'll be finishing off during the weekend in Scorpio. So if you can just keep thinking about this and getting in tune with what this is, that you're willing to make a sacrifice here or take a great leap of faith here based on love and freedom, you can get to the heart of the matter, to the depths of it, but later this week. So let this work itself out. Start to discover which move you're going to make here with regard to taking a chance based on love, taking a risk based on love later in the week, okay? Here we have time for a nap as your general energy for the week. This is where we're looking at really taking a step back, right? You've got breathe, you've got flexible, time for a nap. Really, especially if this is about relations of any kind, I don't even care which kind, business, personal, scholastic, romantic, it doesn't matter. You really need to come to terms with what you feel and what you want and what you're willing to do and how you respond to things. And then you're going to want to measure that against how your loved ones or how the people you communicate with regularly deal with things. Because part of accepting the self is for exactly who you are, is the ability to accept other people. And when you can accept yourself, when you can sit with yourself and accept yourself, it's just that much easier to accept other people. You don't need to be forceful. So let's just get another card here. We do have power. We've got horse. This is power. This is willfulness, right? This is about having the strength to move forward. It is here, again, in opposition to taking a nap, to breathing, to taking a risk based on love. There could be a power relation here. You could, there could be a very large element based around frustration. Someone's not moving fast enough for you. Something's not moving fast enough. You're not moving fast enough. It could just be something as simple as you're being so incredibly difficult to yourself and unfair to yourself that it's starting to sort of rub off on everybody. And again, much of this Capricorn has to do with the holidays, so try not to read too much into it. This is your third advisement to take a break. Take a step back from as much as possible this week. This is your calling card. You want to breathe. You need to breathe. You need to slow down because you're under enormous pressure here, whether it is perceived or real. And let's admit it, unless you're a heart surgeon and someone's going to die in the next 10 minutes, you can slow down because a mistake may be made and it may cost you something irreversible here. Retreat, take a nap, breathe, slow down. You have nothing to prove here. You have nothing to prove. You are doing everything in the right time and to the best of your ability. You have nothing to prove. You're powerful and wonderful and capable just the way you are. Let this work itself out. All week, what you're being asked to do is to chill out. Unless someone asks for advice, keep it to yourself. Later in the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then you can look at the heart of the matter. Then you can start taking steps to make an actual decision. And you will be that much more aware of how you feel about it and how it's going to affect yourself and other people. If you do something right now, it's probably going to come around and either hurt someone or turn out to be not in your best interests. Okay, so that is your reading for the week. I shan't go on. Thank you so much for being here. Comment if you have a second. I love hearing from you. And subscribe to my channel. Like my videos. That really helps me out as well. So until we meet in the next video, take excellent care, Capricorn. Bye for now.